Boom, hey, what's up, guys? See, there's something I want to talk about, and it's about, let's say, your favorite entertainer or your favorite YouTuber or just anybody in general who you watch on your so called spiritual journey, right? I want to let you know something, right? Reality, visual reality, sound reality, touch, feeling, emotional reality, they're all relative. So sometimes you don't even know it, right? But you're watching a so called YouTuber just to get their perspective on the world, to widen your perspective. And you might not be aware that you are 100 million times further than them in reality and in understanding and your journey and your quest. And what this can actually do to you is reel you back in to reality and way where they are. Like they will pull you to their position of awareness. So basically their level of awareness. And if you feel like when you're watching these guys, they just keep repeating themselves and how do I say? Yeah, repeating themselves and they're stuck. They keep saying the same shit over and over again. Well, that's because they are stuck. And they are not open enough to, I guess, take in, well, not even open enough to take in. They're just not on your level, bro. They're just, they're stuck on a version of reality. There's no other way to put it. I'm trying to find the most perfect matrix sentence to understand it to you, to speak it for you to understand. Uh, no words are coming for it but that. So, they're stuck. And sometimes what you gotta do is recommend videos to them as well, just to get them off that bump. You know what I'm saying? Because let me explain something to you guys. There's a world that's existing beyond this world. At the same time, this world is happening. And when you actually start to exist in this world, you realize you no longer can demonstrate or give an example of what you're saying because you're now dwelling in a world outside of this world that can literally only be explained to a person that already has the experience of the world. So you might come across extremely intelligent or extremely deep. That's because you no longer dibble and dabble in physical reality outside yourself, but you dibble and dabble with the whole thing, which is you, and you can access by going inside yourself. That sounds crazy, but it's not. It is something you can do. You can go inside yourself. You don't need any substance. You don't need none of that shit. You can simply do it by fasting and staying in a quiet place by yourself. Like if you lay down right here on this ground where I am, bro, you close your fucking eyes. You don't eat anything. You don't have anything running through your system, any codes, anything running through you, because that's what food is. Like realistically speaking, foods are codes. You know what I'm saying? It's just codes. Ones and zeros disguised in different shapes and colors. Uh-huh. Vibrations. Yeah, just codes. You don't have any codes running through you. You don't have your system distorted, and you're quite. I say your system is quite empty. You can literally go into the actual environment, like so-called matrix, by closing your eyes and going into that so-called sleep world, but not being asleep, but being aware of it and knowing why you're there and knowing what you're there to do. Quite cool shit. Some quite cool shit. It's like the best way for me to explain it to you is like free flowing electricity. It's all around you at all times, and you can be a part of it. Yes. Well, you are a part of it. That's the limitation of these words. The minute you say a sentence, you have to correct that sentence with another sentence, and then correct that sentence with another sentence, because you're always going to be contradicting yourself, because you're now separating things from the whole. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I literally sometimes forget words and numbers, because I like to be the whole. It's really hard to use a language when you discover who you truly are. Well, who and what. You see what I'm saying? It's quite fucking rad. It's rad as hell, man. It's rad as hell. I like the line from Kanye. What one man should have all this power, but I don't think Kanye West knows what he was talking about. Well, he does, because Kanye West is me. I love doing little shit like that. You know, I actually love the fact that I could say some shit like that. Yeah. Sometimes it's really good to lose yourself. Like, it's really cool to forget what you really are, just to find yourself again. You get a breathe in and you lose yourself again and you find yourself again. Kind of a game I play with myself. Lose yourself to find yourself. Because if you like, let's say for instance, right? If I was to stay at the peak of my awareness, right? If I was to say at the peak of my awareness, one night you will go to sleep and you won't wake up, because all that energy would be in me, like literally. Think about it. Where do you go when you go to sleep? Like, think about it. Where do you go when you go to sleep? Where do you go? You definitely go somewhere. You just cut out, right? You're gone. You're vanished, right? Where does that energy go? What's absorbing it? Aha. So if I was to stay in my fully aware zone, it would seem normal to you. Because think about it. Think about this, right? When you fall asleep, right? How do you know you've actually been asleep for, let's say, that 5 hour alarm you set? Because when you cut out, everything in reality cuts out. So 5 hours could actually be 5 million years until I choose to give back the energy to you. To you, it will seem like 5 hours, like you just paused. Like, you're paused for 5 hours because that's how you set your brain to understand it. But because you aren't aware of what this actually is, you could have been plugged out for 5,000 years. But you're not aware of it. But that's just how your reality is. See what I'm saying? Time isn't real. So when you go to sleep, you could be out for literally 2 billion years. But you can't tell because how could you tell if you're gone? How could you tell if you're plugged out? You think you think a light bulb knows when it's plugged out? No, bro. If you can't understand me, that's because I'm talking to you from the creation of so-called reality, the creators of reality's perspective, God perspective, the ultimate consciousness, you. I'm talking to you from your highest self. Basically, you before you become you. Yeah. And they are different versions of reality. Like I keep bringing this up because I gotta remind you guys that it gets fun. Like the life you're living now, if you create another place mentally, a happy place in your head, it's literally you creating a brand new world without doing any physical work. Your own personal heaven. You could do it physical here. You could do it mental. You could. I just love this shit. But anyhow, I'm gonna do it now. See this. Check this. Peace.